Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. I want to give you 2 quick table saw tips to help keep you safer and to help make your table saw cuts more efficient. All right, tip number 1 is use a push stick. A push stick keeps your fingers away from that blade. I recommend students use a push stick if their piece that they're going to rip is narrower than 4 inches. If it's less than 4 inches, I suggest using a push stick so you can keep your fingers at least 4 inches away from that blade when it's rotating. So you can get commercially bought push sticks. You can get them in different types of shapes. What I like to do is I like to have a commercially bought one, and then I like to make a couple copies. And the reason I do that goes into tip number 2. Tip number 2 is have the wide side of your rip on the fence side. So if I have a rip where I need to cut off just a little bit, let's say I'm just gonna cut off, let's get a pencil that works, huh? So if I have just a little bit, let's say I only need to remove just a little bit of lumber, instead of putting the narrow side between the fence and having my rip be super narrow, I can go ahead, put the wide edge of the cut between the fence and the blade, and it gives me more room to have this held down and push it through with my push stick. Now there are times when you might not have a very wide piece, so you have to have it really narrow. That's why I like to go and copy my push sticks that I buy commercially, so that way you can push something through that is really narrow and not worry about your push stick being ruined. It can just cut that piece of plywood, that homemade push stick, and it's not a big deal. All right, so in practice, what I like to do is I like to set up my cut, set up my rip that I'm going to make. Then I like to get my push stick before I even start the saw and get it right close, so that way I can come right in here and feed. Now, one other thing to remember, I see students a lot that they'll use this hand to push against the fence, but they'll try to keep going with it. This hand that pushes against the fence needs to stop right here, because if you keep pushing back in here, you're going to press those pieces of wood together that's already been cut and making it want to bind and try to kick back on you. So this hand that pushes against the fence, it stops right here with this plastic. It stops pushing right there. That way your hand doesn't get close and you don't bind the wood. So we'll go ahead and make a quick cut and show you how this works with my push stick. Okay folks, notice how when I get to the point of needing a push stick, my one hand locks that thumb around the back side, and then I can grab that push stick and not risk that board kicking back at me. There you go folks, pretty easy. Make sure you don't get your scrap piece and pick it up until this blade is fully stopped. You don't want to get your hand in that blade at all. So there you go folks, quick little couple tips about using the table saw. Very versatile, very good tool, but we have to make sure we are safe when using it. And so hey folks, remember to work hard, because hard work is its own reward, and hard work is how change happens. Change is how we become better people, better workers, better at all things. It's through that hard work. So make sure you work hard. And thanks for watching.